Yelling at me?
No, I was just asking. I didn't know if mine was working or not, but thank you.
Oh. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to the Seneca County Board of Supervisors business meeting for December 14th. First off, the roll call.
Supervisor Reynolds?
Here.
Supervisor Garlick Lorenzetti?
Here.
Supervisor Brownell?
Here.
Supervisor Barnhart?
Here.
Supervisor Borst?
Here.
Supervisor Hayes?
Here.
Supervisor Ferrara?
Here.
Supervisor Cronenwetter?
Here.
Supervisor Lott?
Here.
Supervisor McGreevy?
Here.
Supervisor Heisen?
Here.
Supervisor Trout?
Here.
Supervisor Clear?
Here.
Supervisor Enslow?
Here.
You have a quorum, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, please be seated. Next up, I need a motion to open the public hearing on the Seneca County tentative budget for the year 2022.
So moved. Motion.
Okay. With a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye. I'll open.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is now open. Open to the public to make comments on the budget for 2022. Anybody here want to make comments? Is there time to make comments? Okay.
Making a motion to close the public hearing. I'll second it. No. Nope.
This is on the public hearing
Budget.
for the county budget. That would have come later under the open privilege of the floor. Okay. Okay, we got motion to close the public hearing in a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is now closed. Next up, presentations. Did the one person get here?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay. Next up are
No petitioner.
petitioners. We don't have any petitioners, so it's open privilege of the floor next, but I'd like to have Mr. Ferrara make a statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Seneca County Board of Supervisors is fully aware and are deeply concerned about the COVID-19 pandemic crisis that continues throughout Seneca County, New York State, and our country. We strongly encourage all of our residents to wear their masks in public and to get fully vaccinated, including the third booster shot. We respectfully understand the intent of Governor Hochul's executive order and her desire and passion to keep New Yorkers safe, and we completely understand and appreciate her efforts. We also understand that Seneca County, like many other healthcare facilities, school districts, and businesses, simply do not have the resources to enforce this mandate. The Board of Supervisors would like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday season. And again, we encourage everyone, please be safe, wear your mask, and get vaccinated.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next up now is open privilege of the floor. Anybody who'd like to come up and speak for 3 minutes, feel free to.
Is that what you did on that? You should have been included, but I like it.
Hi, I'm Shannon O'Connor. I'm here with the Friends of the Three Bears. We were here last month as well to talk to you about funding for the Friends of the Three Bears. We were really excited to see there is a budget proposal for $35,000 for the Friends. This is about half the amount that we had originally asked, so I just wanted to explain where we came up with our initial $70,000 in funding that we had requested. We were looking to hire a full-time person to operate the Seneca County Courthouse Complex, and that it would cost about $50,000 to actually fund a full-time employee. We've discussed hiring a part-time person, maybe hiring someone seasonally, but if anyone here has ever worked in a seasonal industry, you know that trying to hire a quality, high-caliber person, part-time or seasonally, is really difficult. So, I mean, we were originally looking for $50,000 so that we can get the full-time person. The Friends of the Three Bears are in a unique position as a nonprofit being funded by Seneca County. We are not just any organization. We are actually the caretakers for county buildings. The Seneca County Courthouse Complex, listed on the National Registry of Historic Places, is an architectural gem in our county, and we're a group of volunteers that are extremely proud to be overseeing it. I would like you to consider tonight rather than the 35,000, if you would consider 50,000 for the Friends of the Three Bears. We do have some deliverables, some tangible results that we would like to bring back to the board next year if we could have this full-time person. One being, we will see a 50% increase in the attendance at the Seneca County Courthouse complex. Last year, we saw 1,600 visitors. We had about 400 people come just to the tourism office alone. And so we will see a 50% increase next year over this. The second thing is, with the director of operations in place, we can actually expand our social media presence. We can improve the website that we only launched last year. And we expect to see a 50% increase in the website traffic for the Friends of the Three Bears. Currently, we have about 100 hits on our website a month. This is pretty good for a website only started in May. We're looking for a 50% increase next year. How we plan to achieve this is our director of operations have 3 major goals. One is to engage all the B&Bs in our area so that we can raise awareness of the Three Bears and what we have to offer as far as tourism information, information for the entire county. Second is our director of operations would oversee grant programming. This way we have someone who's promoting the programs, who's overseeing the programs and connecting with the community and really hyping these things up. And number 3 is this person would be a social media person. I mean, we heard last month about the TPA really focusing money towards social media, and we need to do that as an organization, but it's hard for just a group of volunteers. Please be aware that this group of volunteers, we're the ones who, we don't have custodial services for these county buildings, so we're the custodians. We're also the tourism ambassadors, and we're also trying to do programs to engage the community. We did a really incredible job this past year with this many people coming through. And so we know that with this group of volunteers and our experience and our backgrounds, and some of these supervisors know this group and know what we can achieve, that if we were to have a director of operations, we can really move forwards. And we would be happy to come back next year to say, look, this is what we've done, and we'll talk again next year about what our funding can be for future years. Any questions?
Again, Shannon, I would like to just simply encourage, like I mentioned a couple of months ago, to utilize the Chamber of Commerce resources. And I would be more than willing, as I said a couple of months ago, to facilitate that meeting with the Chamber and the Three Bears to see how we can deploy some of their social media skills and expertise to hit on the Three Bears. So just let me know when you want to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have not heard anything from them as well.
Well, as I said, I would facilitate it. So if you let me know when you want to do that, I'll make sure that the Chamber will be participating.
Yeah, and we would love to do more partnerships with them along the tourism lines. Absolutely.
And Shannon, I was thinking out loud to myself the other day that you should probably get a page or a half a page in the hard copy brochure that the Chamber puts out for the county tourism every year, so people can see another place to go to get information and get on the online edition too. So yeah, we would like that. We have a lot of work ahead of us. Okay, any other questions?
And I just want to note, we had the tree lighting ceremony just after Thanksgiving on Sunday, and last year, I think 6 people showed up. This year, with just a little bit of work from the Bears and some volunteers, it was 125 people. So, people are really wanting to come into town and go to the complex. So,
Nice.
And I ran into someone in Ithaca just yesterday who had seen the concert for the after party for the holiday and made comments about the whole thing and hearing about it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I just want to add something too, Chairman. So after the meeting, I did send a thing out to the Chamber, and we got response. Everybody has a copy on your desk. Number 3, would it be possible for the Chamber to include the Three Bears complex as a seasonal operation? And it looks like the Chamber would be willing to discuss that, so I applaud Supervisor Farrar for saying he would facilitate it. As noted in our response, the Chamber welcomes the opportunity to discuss the board's good faith request for a better understanding of tourism promotion services rendered under the current TPA contract or modified contract. At this time, it is premature to speculate on the estimated cost for, I was saying maybe they could help with some of the administration duties for the Three Bears complex until we have a mutual understanding of shared goals and responsibilities. So I think that definitely looks favorable with some facilitation from board members.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah,
Thank
though I would like to say that any amount that is allocated to us will be well used, and we will move forwards on our goals. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next up, our open privilege of the floor, 3 minutes. If anybody would like to come up and address the board. Hold on, Bill. You come right up. Perfect timing.
You don't want me to stick around any longer than I need to, do you?
You can go
Okay.
Neither do we.
in a minute.
How are you? Well,
So, you're Bill Carpenter, CEO of RGRTA.
that's right. Alphabet soup there, yes, Chairman.
Drop your mask on if you want to.
Oh, thank you.
If you don't want it, you don't have to.
Thank you.
Okay.
Just want to just say a few words to say thank you for the work that's been done. I know it went through the planning committee, I think unanimously, but you've been terrific over the years. You've gotten very tight on office space here, but you've found a way to accommodate us to have our office space here and use the parking areas. And over the last couple of years, we've been working to locate space to have our own facility. One of the biggest concerns is the employees, particularly in the wintertime, getting the buses ready when it's very dark. Sometimes it snows in this part of the country once in a while. And so they're, in icy conditions, freezing rains, whatever, getting the buses brushed off. And we've been able to identify some federal and state funding to be able to build a bus garage and office space and to continue to be located as closely as possible. One of the things we've done with the relationship we have with not just Seneca, but Ontario, Wayne, Genesee, Livingston, Orleans, Wyoming counties, stay connected with the county. We have to work together. You grow, we grow. It's that type of relationship. So wanted to come out and also give you a visual, if you'd like. Dave Palaska with me here as Director of Engineering. And this is a rendition of the site. It's just south of this property. And so right at the corner, folks on this side. And so buses will be able to go in on one side and then drive out the other side. We'll have a bus wash there to make it very easy to keep the bus clean. And then I don't know that this matches the brick specifically of this building, but that's what we'd want to do, is to be able to have the same look as this building so that it fits. And appreciate the opportunity to locate closely, appreciate the long-term relationship, and expect to be serving together for a long time.
Any questions for Bill? When are you gonna break ground, do you think?
We go out to bid in 2 or 3 months. Expect next spring, spring or summer of 22, and then completion sometime 23 or 24. The supply chain, I don't know what construction you're doing, but trying to get steel, lumber, and then particularly with the bus wash. Dave has been working getting electric buses ready, and we just found a piece that we need for the charging units is on order, and within 12 months we should have it. It's so that can impact the construction timeline, but we'll get it done as quickly as we can.
So are the electric buses easy to find now?
Pardon?
Are the electric buses easy to find?
The 40-foot buses, we ordered them the beginning of this year, expecting to be here in December and January. We should have those buses by summer. And then the buses that you see here in Seneca County, there is no real one that's usable. You'll get it operated for 50, 60 miles, but not something that you can run continuously. And so we're looking at what might be some other options besides battery electric. So perhaps hydrogen fuel cell or some other type of zero emission. But I'd expect by 2035, all our fleet will be zero emission.
Very good. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
Yep.
Thank you, Bill.
Have a Merry Christmas. Okay, we'll try it again. Open privilege of the floor. Anybody who'd like to address the board, come up to the podium. Okay.
That's what I want to do.
You can.
Charles Bowman, Fayette.
Between 3 and 5 minutes.
Okay, I'm just here to address the letter that was put out by the Seneca County DA, the sheriff, and the Seneca Falls Police Department. I don't believe it's right that they signed and willingly published a letter that they knew was a lie. They've all seen the evidence before they printed that letter, and they still sent it out. Now, Clint Halftown's land into trust is being reviewed because of a letter that they sent with that lie. So now his land is being reviewed again by a lie published by our county. I have evidence of it. I'm not here making up things against our DA or against our Seneca Falls PD. I have evidence. I have an audio recording. I have physical paperwork that I was treated. It's not okay that they should be able to lie in the official capacity that they are doing. There should no longer be a letter to the Attorney General. This should be phone calls to the Attorney General, to our governor. These are now federal crimes. No one wants to look at that they illegally took me, searched my person, and even if they have that police privilege, they do not have it over a non-native person to search them and to detain them like that. So this should come down to a phone call, because now the highest legal officials in our county are lying. I have no fear in saying that. They have no fear publishing lies about me. I have no fear speaking the truth about them. That's all. I won't waste any more of your time, but I really think this needs more than just a letter now. Thank you.
Mr. Bowman, not to continue this any further, but again, I 100% stand behind the Seneca County Sheriff's Department and Seneca Falls Police Department and their investigative work and the district attorney, 100%. And I resent the fact that you publicly come to a meeting and call them liars.
Well, I'm not,
have a good Christmas. Thank you.
And if you want to see the evidence,
nope. I'm not a judge. I'm not a jury. Not our domain.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else want to address the board? Okay, come up, state your name and all that.
Certainly. Hello, I'm Nathaniel Gilbert from Seneca Falls, New York, obviously, New York. I would just wanted to comment a little bit on the so-called mandate. You guys you're all familiar with the governor issuing a mandate, which she has said the counties do not have to enforce. And I would like to encourage you as a county board not to enforce this most recent proclamation of a sort of dictator in the rule we're kind of under at this point. And I think there's several reasons for that. One of those is that masks are highly questionable if they're even valid. I have a quote from Dr. Stephen Guntry, who is a world-renowned surgeon, a pioneer of infant transplant surgery. He says, the surgical masks that I wear in the operating room does not protect against viral transmission. It's totally permeable to viruses. It was designed to actually prevent bacteria from contaminating wounds, and quite frankly, it doesn't do a very good job of that either. So what's happened is he said this at the very beginning of the pandemic when people were saying, "Yeah, don't get a mask, don't worry about it." So then the whole thing got politicized, and now it's become the in thing to have a mask mandate. All of a sudden we go for 6 months with no mask mandate, and then now there's a mask mandate. So it's sort of a feel good approach, and I think that as a board, I would encourage you all to just say we're not going to use our resources. I mean, we want to. I mean, Three Bears is here trying to get more resources. So I think it would be a waste of our money to use resources to enforce a highly questionable mask mandate. This is all besides the fact that this is a country that is based on freedom, and I think that at a local level, we can take a stand for freedom. We can say, yeah, we value a freedom more than just doing what some politician has stated in Albany we should do. That we actually say, okay, we're going to live by the principles, not just say the Pledge of Allegiance, but actually live by the principles that our country has been founded on. So I would really encourage you all to consider seriously the idea of not enforcing this dictate. I guess it's not really a mandate. So that would be my recommendation. And thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, before the next presenter comes up, can we have Mike read his statement again, particularly the part where we're not going to enforce the mandate from New York State? We're just encouraging people to wear their masks and get their shots.
Again, this was the statement that I read earlier. Can you hear me back there?
Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't recall the point where you said you weren't going to enforce it.
Okay, I'll read it one more time for you. The Seneca County Board of Supervisors is fully aware and are deeply concerned about the COVID-19 pandemic crisis that continues throughout Seneca County, New York State, and our country. We strongly encourage all of our residents to wear their mask in public and to get fully vaccinated, including the third booster shot. We respectfully understand the intent of Governor Hochul's executive order and her desire and passion to keep New Yorkers safe, and we completely understand and appreciate her efforts. We also understand that Seneca County, like many other healthcare facilities, school districts, and businesses, do not have the resources to enforce this mandate. The Board of Supervisors would like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holiday season, and we encourage everyone to please be safe, wear your mask, and get vaccinated. Whether this board will never, I don't think this board will ever take a position that we don't believe in the benefits of masks or vaccinations, but that's our official statement.
Okay, thank you. It seemed a little obfuscated, but I understand. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Anybody?
Yeah, I just want to comment, especially trying to feel like you read the statement from the Board of Supervisors. Quite honestly, I'm in total agreement, and I think whoever wrote it did a great job. But I also think that the three of us, and that'd be the three Democrats, should have been included into that, because we as a board would have agreed, I would think, on that statement. And to not have us included is not right.
It would have been an illegal meeting if we had included you.
How is that? We could have discussed it then, and you could have said, here's what we're gonna, resolution, somebody could have read it, and we could have all voted. I just don't think it was fair that we weren't part of that. I sat on the COVID committee for I don't even know how many months now. But quite honestly, that's bipartisan, and we should all be working together. Okay, we shouldn't have been excluded, but it was whoever wrote it did a great job. That's it.
I recommended, Cindy, that you come, and Jim, I said not Kyle, but you and Jim I asked to come in.
I'm just throwing it out there, guys. This is how you get Albany and Washington people being divided.
Please
the
do.
Perfect picture, and that we shouldn't do. That's all. Thanks.
Hey, Kyle, would you like to comment now or not?
I mean, I'm a little surprised that there's a statement from the Board of Supervisors that hasn't been debated. I'm just a little surprised by it. I think it's irresponsible for this county and this board to publicly announce that we're not going to enforce a mask mandate. We had an email thread going with the Board of Supervisors recently that we sort of talked about this, and the comment that I made was that, if our health department's understaffed, if the police department's understaffed, they're certainly not making a press release or a statement that says we're no longer going to enforce road patrols in certain parts of the county, or we're no longer going to enforce burglaries. It's idiotic. It discourages people from wearing masks. That point to any study on the math except for whatever doctor he quoted there, and masks are very effective in preventing the transmission of COVID. So it's just irresponsible, and we're putting people's health at risk, especially people with kids who can't get vaccinated and can't protect themselves. So it's shameful in my opinion, but I understand where the majority lies.
Okay, Jim.
I totally agree with the statement, and I think that if people want to wear masks, they have the right to wear a mask.
I think if people don't want to wear a mask, they have the right not to wear a mask. I think it's all in your personal opinion, preference. I think everybody tries to maintain their safety as best they can. Nobody wants COVID, but I think it should be in the hands of the individual whether or not to wear a mask. I fully agree with the statement that Supervisor Farrar read. I would, like Cindy said, I was on board with that. I don't think the county should put their funds and their efforts into policing, being the COVID cops for the county. I think that what Mike read was right on par with, I think, how the majority of us feel. Again, I think it's up to the individual, how they feel and how they should, you know, care to treat themselves. Also, I think it's about the businesses in the county. If a business doesn't choose to uphold a mask or a vaccine mandate, I'm fully in favor of that. Before, it hurt a lot of small businesses in the county. It hurt a lot of people in the county, and I don't think it was fair for the small business. Face it, we're a small community. We don't have big businesses. Everything we solely rely on is small businesses in our county. And it really hurt a lot of the businesses and the people in this county. And I don't think that we should go down that road again.
Okay, very good. Anybody else? Did you say you wanted to speak? Come on up.
Peter Arena, Romulus. I want to first of all thank, we came here this evening anticipating the opportunity to speak on with regard to this mask mandate that has been handed down by our governor, and I just would like to thank the board for actually having the will to resist the enforcement of it. And as far as the mask goes and the vaccines and this whole thing that has grown up over the past 2 years, it has become polarizing and politicized. And it is very unfortunate that we have become a polarized country under basically the age of 75. The mortality rates for young people is nearly is so insignificant that the idea of vaccinating children is just insane. But here we are looking at this mask mandate. It's looking at it from a larger perspective, from a higher elevation. We see that behind that mask mandate, it's handed down by this governor, is this backdoor measure to create the infrastructure for vaccine passport checking on the part of all the businesses that are throughout the entire state. And that is a dangerous road to go down. And I appreciate the fact that this board had the wherewithal to resist the enforcement of this, because that puts a roadblock in that process, which I think is going to be very, very destructive to our state and our country. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else want to speak? Okay. Thank you.
I'm Leon Kelly. I'd like to have you speak to my youngest son, who didn't wear a mask and died September 4th.
Okay. Anybody else would like to speak? Okay. You'll be next then. Okay.
All right. I had a traumatic experience when because I just bumped his chair. I don't have anything prepared to say, but my name is Audra Brown, and I had a very bad experience when I was a teenager. And there are a lot of people that have problems either that they dealt with before. This is about the mask. It actually has killed people to wear a mask, like old people and things like that. It's actually caused people to have a lot of problems to wear a mask. And me, myself, it sends panic, like to me, to have to wear a mask. And I heard the gentleman before I came up, and I'm so sorry to hear that that happened to your family member. I think that if someone has an underlying condition, wearing a mask or having the shot will take them out. So, and that has happened. I don't have anything prepared, but I'm just trying to advocate for people with disabilities. And there aren't a lot of people to speak for them. And it's heartbreaking, the things that people go through because other people are stronger or bigger than them, like, you know, higher up on the totem pole. And it isn't fair. We're just as important as those people. We're just because we were dealt something that we were dealt doesn't mean that we can be trampled on. And you never know what someone has gone through in their past. And that is a huge problem. People think they have so much authority, and maybe they do, but you have no idea what somebody has gone through. No idea. And that's probably the biggest thing I want to say. And the Lord knows. He knows. He sees it all. And I think everyone should know that also. But thank you for not mandating cruel things that are trying to be put through to all the areas. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Okay. You're next.
My name is Roxanne Gupta. I live in Ovid now. My family goes back 5 generations on both sides between Seneca and Cayuga Lake. This is my place, this is my land, this is my county. And I want to say thank you for coming out with the 17 other counties in the state that have announced that they are not going to enforce this dictatorial mandate that's coming down from, ostensibly from Albany. We don't know the real source. We don't really know who's calling the shots behind most of what has gone on. Everybody in this room has their own idea about that. I do agree, though, that the Democrats should have been included in the decision. I'm not saying take a vote or something like that. I don't even know what the composition of the board is, whether it's mostly Republican or mostly Democrat now. This has traditionally been a Democratic county. But this is a nonpartisan issue that we are facing, folks. Please be realistic where we're at in our country right now. It is government by decree. It is no longer a democracy. This petty politics and fighting between different parties is killing us. We are being exploited by the technocrats on top, who have made billions and billions of dollars off the suffering of ordinary working class people. Thank God our county still respects the working class, because the working class has paid the price for this pandemic. We have all the materials, we have all the information to show you the names and the people that have been behind this, how long it has been planned, and where we're headed. We're headed to a society ruled by artificial intelligence. And if you don't know that, please call me so I can give you a little mini seminar on that and point you to the websites that are now bragging about it. They're not even trying to hide it. So if we don't resist at the local level, and if we don't send a clear message to Albany that we're not going to roll over, we are doomed. Mark my words. I hope this is being recorded so that in the future people can understand that right now it's the ordinary people that see clearly what's going on. And they are not happy. One of the biggest problems right now is the gap between governments and people. I'm out there. I'm talking to the people. They see the government now as the enemy, that the government has declared war on the people. It might sound dramatic to say that, but all you have to do is go on Facebook and listen to how the people are talking. And we are on the verge of a civil war in this country if something doesn't change. Look at what's happening in Europe. Look at the people in the streets. It's happening, folks. We live in a little bubble here, and we are so fortunate. But I want to say thank you that you are not going to roll over for this woman who was never elected and who was just put in place to do the same things that Cuomo planned on doing. So thank you very much. I tell you, we're going to resist. I'm COVID recovered. I took ivermectin. I got over it in 3 days. And when I put that on Facebook that I took ivermectin, it was prescribed by a doctor. I did not buy it at the local stores for animals. I didn't eat horse paste. I got a prescription. As soon as Biden got in office, he started putting pressure to stop people from being able to use the treatments that will actually help them get over this disease. Wake up.
Okay, thank you.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen.
Okay, anybody else want to address the board? Okay, come on up.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Park, and I'm from Ovid, New York. I'm not going to keep saying the same thing, but thank you for not enforcing this because we have other things that we need to take care of in this county. I would like to extend this to the fact that I have been to school board meetings for South Seneca School District, and I really think that this should start going down to the elementary schools. I don't feel like they should be mandated for our kids. I have 5 nieces and nephews that are not in public school. They're being homeschooled because of these mandates. And I just really want to fight for our kids here because the school board says I can't do anything because the county's all in agreement. So I would like to please say, think about this for our kids. I don't think our kids should have to sit with these 8 hours a day. Just sitting there at the board meetings, I can hardly breathe. So I'll keep this kind of short, but I just wanted to say I really hope that we can turn this to our kids because the kids are our future. And there's so many, the risk is not worth the benefit. There's a lot of other problems that come with the masks in kids. I won't go on about it because I'm sure you guys could look it up at a good doctor's site, but I just want to get up and say that I thank you for not enforcing this because I know that, like me, there's so many people that would not comply anyhow, so thank you. And Roxanne, I would like to say thank you for what you said. You have said everything I've been thinking. I have chronic Lyme disease, and ivermectin has been part of my treatment plan, but after COVID, my doctor will not prescribe it for me anymore because it's been politicized. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I want us to all come together as a county and as a local community because we are going to sink here. There's a lot of really bad things going on in other towns, other countries, and I just wanted to say thank you for not enforcing this. And I didn't have anything prepared. I was just going to listen, but that's all I have to say. I'm not great at this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Have a Merry Christmas. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, in that case.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Regardless of our opinion, position, or political party, I think everybody that came out and spoke tonight, I thank you for coming out because regardless of what you believe in or what you think, what you feel, you exercise the right to talk and voice your opinion, and that's important. I just want to say thank you for coming tonight.
Paul, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just like to thank Mike Ferrara for writing that little proclamation for this evening. We all think he did a good job. Thanks, Mike.
Yes, Mike, thank you.
Sure I wrote it?
Well, you copied it from somebody that had a real good idea.
Plagiarism.
Okay,
You're welcome.
very good. We'll move on to the next part of the meeting. This is the approval of minute of the last meeting.
I'm sorry, all of the November minutes I sent.
Okay, don't worry
The
about
regular
that.
meeting and the 2 special meetings.
Okay, next, reports of standing committees.
But they didn't approve them.
What?
They get approved, did you know that?
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes.
Oh.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, next up, reports of standing committees. Human Services, Mr. Supervisor McGreevy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Human Services Committee met on November 23rd. We only have one item on the agenda this evening. Seneca County Board of Supervisors proclaiming January as Human Trafficking Awareness Month in Seneca County. And I would like to read this proclamation in full later this evening, if I may.
Very good. Thank you, Supervisor.
That's all I have, sir.
Next up, Planning, Supervisor Barnhart.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Planning, Development, Agriculture, and Tourism Committee passed 2 items out of committee on November 23rd. One is It's a Wonderful Life grant request approved for $5,000. The other being further adjustments to the hotel motel tax funding allocations. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Supervisor Barnhart. Next up, Public Health, Supervisor Borst.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Public Health Services Committee met November 23rd, 2021. 3 items on the agenda tonight. Number 1, authorized contract with New York State Department of Health to receive COVID vaccine response grant for $108,527 to assist with the vaccine response. Number 2, authorized service agreement with Kathy Bond for COVID-19 consulting services for $50,000. And number 3, authorized contract with Seneca County Cornell Cooperative Extension to provide a staff member to support the Creating Healthy Schools and Communities grant for $34,750 annually. That's it, Mr. Chairman.
Very good. Thank you, Supervisor Borst. Next up, Indian, Supervisor Lott.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't have any business to come before the group tonight.
Okay.
Unless somebody else does.
I guess not. Anybody on the committee? Okay. Thank you, Supervisor Lott. Next up, Personnel, Supervisor Ferrara.
Thank you, Chairman. The committee authorized refilling the following positions in Mental Health Department at our November 23rd meeting. Fill 1 office of coordinator and refill 1 full-time psychiatric social worker and refill 1 part-time building maintenance mechanic at the airport. We have 4 resolutions for consideration tonight. Approve the elimination of 1 grade 8 supervisor and the creation and filling of 1 senior caseworker. Approve the creation and filling of 1 senior caseworker. Approve the reclassification of full-time staff resource assistant, and a resolution introducing proposed local law A of the year 2022, a local law to waive residency for certain positions, county public health director and county personnel officers. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Supervisor Ferrara. Next up, Water Sewer Committee, Supervisor Hayes.
We have one that's going to be coming up for a vote. It's a supervisor select firm to undertake water and sewer authority formation study.
Okay.
Left off the list.
Supervisor Hayes. Next up, Public Safety, Burnell, Supervisor Burnell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tonight, the board will consider several items approved by this Public Safety Committee. A contract with Motorola Solutions for $240,876 for the maintenance and repair of the county radio system in Nices. The county received more than $345,000 from the New York State Office of Vigilance Legal Services for the Public Defender's Office. The county will be applying for a $750,000 grant from New York State Homeland Security and FEMA. The grant requires a 10% match from the county. The purpose of the grant will be to enhance the breathing, air supply, and fire investigation capability to the Seneca County Fire Department's Regional Hazmat Team, Seneca County Sheriff's Dive Team. A resolution under the new business will be extended for the pharmaceutical contract with the Sheriff's Department for the Omacare. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Supervisor Burnell. Next up, Environmental Committee, Supervisor Cronewetter.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I wasn't here for the last meeting. I was sick. Wasn't COVID, thank God. But I would like to send this resolution back to committee if I could when we get to it. New information from the Seneca Lake Watershed and the Cayuga Lake Watershed Network. With new information, I'd like to send it back.
The resolution's in the packet, right?
Right.
So when you get there, you can ask to have it tabled then, sent back to committee.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it?
That's all.
Okay, thank you, Supervisor Cronewetter. Next up, Public Works, Supervisor Trout.
I have one item on the agenda. That's to sell the land to RGT&E for $110,000.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Supervisor Trout. Mental Health, Supervisor Enslow.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mental Health Services Committee met on November 23rd, and we have no changes with the 6 resolutions as they're written. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Supervisor Enslow. Lastly, the Finance Report Committee. Supervisor.
Thank you, Chairman Heisen. Earlier tonight, we had a public hearing to adopt the 2022 tentative budget. On the agenda, we have amendments to the 2021 budget that we need to consider for approval, and a resolution directing the Finance Department to pay the mortgage tax to the towns. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Supervisor Reynolds. Any special committees, end of the year stuff, anything? IDA?
IDA was such a short agenda, I skipped it, but got an update from Sarah earlier today. They were particularly proud of doing 6 projects this year, which far exceeds the pace of any other year to date. They're very proud of the Keystone Mills project. It was a pretty multi-million-dollar project. It's going to bring a lot of jobs to the area. It's growth for a local business, and it centers around our strongest point in the county, other than tourism, which is farming. So they're particularly proud of that, and they look forward to doing an even better job next year. And they're still looking for another development park. They filled up the Deer Run Park finally. It's only been 30 years. I think they anticipated they're going to fill it in 10, but they're looking for another industrial development park, something around 200 acres. So there you go.
Okay, very good, Supervisor Trout. Great report. Anybody else? Cooperative Extension, Soil and Water.
Seneca County Cooperative Extension had their annual meeting last week. I was not able to attend it. I was out of town, but I understand it went very well. They had pretty good attendance, and it was a good meeting, informed a lot of people. So other than that, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anybody else?
No, it's not a special committee, but it kind of ties into agricultural. Just want to give kudos to Supervisor Lott. It looks like leaving the Board of Supervisors, he's going to be the new chairman of the Soybean Board's Executive Committee. So congratulations. And quite distinguished as you were the only New York resident elected to the USBA committee. Good
Thank
for you, Ralph.
Yep.
Thank you. Can I just say something about it? To be on the board, you have to represent so many acres of soybeans. And New York only grows enough acres to have 1 person on the board. So a lot of other states have 4 people, but I'm fortunate from New York, and I'm fortunate to get elected chair. So thank you.
Good for you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, Chairman's remarks. I have no remarks tonight. County Manager's remarks.
I have nothing tonight, sir.
County Attorney's remarks.
I do want to keep this short, but there are a couple items. I wanted to thank Supervisors Brownell, McGreevy, Ferrara, and the county manager and other members of the board and the county staff. About an hour and 10 minutes ago, the Route 318-414 sewer conveyance intermunicipal agreement is fully executed and is in effect at this time. I want to thank everybody for their patience. When I walked into that interesting environment in January of 2019, I didn't think it was going to take this long. Supervisor Trout always said it was going to take this long, and I think he's more prescient than I was, but it is done. It has been a struggle, but everyone has cooperated. We've had great support from the towns and their legal staff and advisors, and I just wanted to make that point on the record tonight. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Good work.
Yes,
It's finally done, so he did a good job because he finally closed the deal.
Yeah.
You know, finally made it.
I guess so. I'm surprised we made it.
I am too.
Now we got another piece of the puzzle to play with.
Give Dave a star.
Yeah. Give him a attaboy? Okay, good. Next up, communications.
Communications 131 through 156 were received and filed. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Next up, resolutions and motions. First on the agenda will be Supervisor Reynolds, Finance and Assessment, Resolution number 15.
Thank you, Chairman Heisen. Board of Supervisors authorizes amendments to the 2021 Seneca County budget.
Support.
Got a second there. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, number 16.
Number 16, Finance Department authorized to pay the mortgage tax.
Support. Second. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 17.
Okay, this is a hottie. Board of Supervisors adopts the 2022 county budget.
Support.
Got a second on that, okay. Any discussion?
Second.
I did. I meant to say I meant to say during my chairman's remarks, but I forgot about it. I want to thank Mitch for doing a great job on the budget, and as he has in the previous years. So, Mitch, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Let's see if we get a pass. Okay, any more discussions? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Congratulations, everybody, especially Mitch. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Reynolds. Okay, next up, Supervisor Enzo, Mental Health Services, number 18.
Thank you, sir. Approve Seneca County Community Services Board appointment of Jeanette Rock.
Support. A second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 19.
Authorized out-of-state travel for mental health department employee, Tammy.
Support.
A second. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 20.
Authorize acceptance of $13,237.50 from Romulus Central School District to support school-based substance abuse prevention services for school years 2021-2022.
Support. Second there. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Carried. Next up, number 21.
Authorize mental health and substance abuse 2022 agreements for contract services.
Support. Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 22.
Authorize 2022 mental health services provider agency contracts.
Support. A second on that. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Well, you got a lot of them.
Yeah, thanks. Authorize acceptance of State Office of Mental Health, OMH, Workforce Incentive Award in the amount of $54,000.
Support. Second there. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you, Supervisor Renzo.
Thank you.
Okay, up next is Supervisor Trout, Public Works, number 24.
Supervisors authorize sale of parcel of land on Thurber Drive, parcel management tax map 882-79 in the town and village of Waterloo.
Support.
Okay, a second on that. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you, Supervisor Trout. Supervisor Cronewetter, you're up here for Environmental Affairs, number 25. What would you like to do?
I'd like to revert this back to committee if I could. There's new information from Ian Smith and the Cayuga Lake Clean Water Committee, from Bill Ebert, that
Well, I guess you can get a second on your motion then.
I'll second it, yeah.
Okay, a second it. Okay. Now I want a motion to send it back to committee.
yes. Could I please have a motion to send this back to committee?
Got a second?
Yeah, second.
Second by Supervisor Barnhart. Any discussion? All those in favor? say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Sent back to committee. Thank you, Supervisor Cronin. Next up, Supervisor Burnell, number 26.
Authorize the contract for 2022 with Motorola Solutions for the radio maintenance and repair for E91 Center and the backup site.
Support.
Got a second? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Authorize acceptance of the distribution number 5 grant for the New York State Office of Indigent Legal Services.
Support.
Second, discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Authorize exception of the distribution number 8 Act for New York State Indigent Legal Services.
Support.
Got a second? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Authorize acceptance of the distribution number 9 grant for the State of New York Office of Vigilant Legal Services.
Support. A second on that. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Authorize application for the 2021 Assistance to Firefighters Grant.
Support.
Second on that. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you, Supervisor Burnell. Next up, Supervisor Ferrara, 31.
Elimination of 1 grade B supervisor and creation and filling of 1 senior caseworker.
Support.
Second on that. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 32.
Creation and filling of 1 senior caseworker.
Support.
Second on that. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 3.
Reclassification of 1 full-time staff resource assistant.
Support.
Second on that. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 34.
Resolution introducing proposed local law A of the year 2022, a local law to waive residency for certain positions and providing for public hearing,
Support.
Support.
A second on that. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Supervisor Ferrara, thank you. Next up, Supervisor Borst, Public Health Services, number 35.
Thank you. Accept New York State Department of Health COVID vaccine response grant.
Support.
A second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 36.
Service agreement with Kathy Bond for consulting services.
Support.
A second. Okay, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 37.
Contract with Seneca County Cornell Cooperative Extension to provide support for the Creating Healthy Schools and Communities grant.
Support.
Second there. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you, Supervisor Forrest. Supervisor Barnhart, Planning, Development, Tourism, Agriculture, number 38.
Board amends policy for annual appropriation of the Tourism Promotion Agency.
Support.
Got a second there. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 39.
Seneca County Tourism Promotion and Development Grant funds approved for the It's a Wonderful Life Museum.
Support.
Second on that. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you, Supervisor Barnhart. Next up, Supervisor McGreevy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Seneca County Board of Supervisors proclaims January as Human Trafficking Awareness Month in Seneca County.
Support.
Second on that. Any discussion?
I would like to read this proclamation, if I may, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Whereas human trafficking has been recognized as a form of modern-day slavery that occurs nationally in every state, including New York, and in many communities across the state, and whereas human trafficking shall mean the recruitment, transport, harboring, or receipt of persons by means of threat or use of force, fraud, or coercion, and whereas anyone can be a victim of human trafficking, most identified victims of trafficking in New York State are American-born females. However, immigrant and undocumented youth, as well as male and transgender youth, have been identified as victims of sex and/or labor trafficking. New York State Office of Children and Family Services. And whereas youth who are especially vulnerable to being trafficked include those with a history of abuse, including sexual abuse, physical abuse, maltreatment, neglect, and substance abuse, children with disabilities, children in foster care, or who have been involved in the justice system, LGBTQ youth and runaway and homeless youth. And whereas the New York State Office of Children and Family Services has provided funding to the Seneca County Division of Human Services over the last 6 years to provide community awareness campaigns, community education and training, and to provide resources and services to youth identified as a victim of trafficking or those who may be at risk. And whereas the Human Services Standing Committee approved this resolution on November 23rd, 2021, now therefore be it resolved, the Board of Supervisors proclaims January as Human Trafficking Awareness Month in Seneca County and recognizes January 11th, 2022 as National Human Trafficking Awareness Day. Thank you.
Thank you for reading that. Okay. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. Thank you, Supervisor McGreevy. Number 41, that's not ready, so that's just,
No, got it right here.
What?
41?
no, 41. You're, 41's not ready.
Well, this is gonna be 42? This is the one from the sewer water.
It doesn't have to be a Rule 29 since the committee already approved it.
Right, it just isn't on the agenda. We don't have to do Rule 29, right?
We don't need a Rule 29 then. Okay, so
So this is
you're
gonna be
like,
42?
you're 41B then. How's that sound?
Oh, beautiful. All right, supervisors select a firm to undertake water and sewer authority formation study.
I'd like to make an amendment to that. I think that I'm doing it correctly, but tell me if I'm not. So I would like to make the amendment that we consider MRB over Hunt Engineering for the simple fact that the grant is for the study of a water sewer authority. There was no other mention of other options, and that MRB has the expertise and has done water authorities. So I think I need a second on my amendment, correct, County Attorney?
Second.
Thank you.
Second by Supervisor Trout.
I second it.
The main motion.
Dave's motion, yeah.
Okay, so we got,
You gonna vote on the amendment?
who made the first? You made the amendment.
He seconded, Trout.
Yep.
Supervisor Trout seconded. I got lost over here.
I seconded Mr. Hayes'
Main motion.
Right, okay. Any discussion?
Are we voting on the amendment?
Amendment, I believe.
Okay.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Nay. Roll call.
Again, it's gonna stare terrible.
We're voting on the
Tell me.
amendment,
Full of shit.
so Supervisor Garlic Lorenzetti,
Yes.
Supervisor Trout,
Yes.
Supervisor Reynolds.
Yes.
Oh, wait. Bear with me. Supervisor Reynolds? On the
Yes.
amendment, yes.
Yes.
Supervisor Brownell?
Yes.
Supervisor Barnhart?
No.
Supervisor Borst?
Yes.
Supervisor Hayes?
No.
Supervisor Ferrara?
Yes.
Supervisor Cronenwetter?
Yes.
Supervisor Lott?
Yes.
Supervisor McGreevy?
Yes.
Supervisor Heisen?
No.
Supervisor Clear?
Yes.
Supervisor Enslow?
Yes.
Okay, that motion, the amendment passes, so now we have to vote on the resolution as amended. Any discussion now?
Yes. It went to committee last month, and every single one of you guys were there with the exception of Joe, and not one of you said a word. Now you sit here tonight, and you're gonna sit here and have something to say. I cannot believe you guys. You wanna talk about dissension amongst the ranks? There you go. You guys all had the opportunity at committee before you brought this up. But nope, nobody had to say nothing. You all kept quiet. And then you sat here tonight, and every one of you is gonna say just the opposite of what you said last month. Exception of you, Cindy.
Thank you.
Cindy was the only one that had the nerve to stand up and say something. Nobody else did. You all sat there. Every one of you guys. I'm disappointed. You had a chance, didn't want to say nothing, and you want to come out here and just say, well, we're going to change your mind, and we're just going to do it the way we want without any discussion.
Well,
I really appreciate being submarined at the end of the whole deal. Thank you.
A lot of times they don't want to do the discussion because you know what? It goes back and forth and back and forth.
Yep,
And then it
I
comes
understand.
down- It comes down to right now voting.
Yep, there you go.
So
MRB can be the next B&L. I love it.
I think I made mention at that meeting that the new board members should hear the spiel from MRB, and then nobody wanted to. Kyle, I think you said you didn't want to listen to another 3 hours of.
6 hours.
I said I didn't want to interview. Yeah,
I don't
re-interview. Yeah.
Not wanting to listen to that boring stuff all over again, but I've been pretty clear about how I feel about MRB versus how I feel about Honda engineers. I don't think I submarine anybody. Okay.
Okay, any more discussion?
I'm not on the committee, but I mentioned at the last meeting that you have 4 people coming on board, and it might be like Dan said, a 2022 decision, and nobody was interested in hearing that, so here we are.
Yep, you're right. Okay. Oh, any more discussion? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Nay. Roll call.
You know how to copy and paste, Margaret?
I don't do well without a mouse. Supervisor Hayes, we're voting on the main motion as amended.
Nay, yes. Correct. You are correct. Nay.
And Supervisor Barnhart.
Nay.
Supervisor Reynolds. We're voting on the main motion as amended.
I'll go nay.
Supervisor Garlick Lorenzetti.
Yes.
Supervisor Brownell.
Nay.
Supervisor Borst.
Yes.
Supervisor Ferrara.
Yes.
Supervisor Cronenwetter.
Yes.
Supervisor Lott.
Yes.
Supervisor McGreevy.
Yes.
Supervisor Heisen.
Nay.
Supervisor Trout.
Yes.
Supervisor Clear.
Yes.
And Supervisor Enslow.
Yes.
539 ayes, 211 nays.
Okay, it carries, passes. Okay. Next up is number 42, new business. Amend the rules of the board to schedule an 2022 organizational meeting.
Are these all Rule 29s?
This is Rule 29.
I'll make a motion that anything to come up underneath Rule 29 tonight,
That covers both. That covers both of them then.
Yep.
Second.
A second on that. Okay, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Start off with amend the rules. I guess that's government operations.
What's that?
Read it. Read A. And then 2A.
Oh, excuse me. Amend the rules of the board to schedule your 2022 organizational meeting.
Support.
Okay. Any discussion?
Fill in the blanks.
Yeah, we got.
Who's gonna do it?
I was gonna get next, but I
When
couldn't.
are we gonna do it?
I was looking at that. The 4th day? It's a Tuesday. Who's got a meeting on the first Tuesday?
I do.
You do?
Mr. Farrar has one on Tuesday.
We don't need Bob after January 1, do we?
What about who's got one on the first Monday?
First Monday?
The 3rd?
3rd, yeah. Does anybody have anything on the first Monday?
I'm good there on second Monday. I can't do.
Got it. We already got a reorg at our town that meeting.
First Monday.
Yep.
What time is your reorg?
5:30.
How long is your reorg gonna take? Is that your normal meeting night? So you're just having
We
a,
have to have it before the 8th, just like everybody else.
Yeah, we're not doing it.
You can do it at 7. Think you can make it by 7?
Yep.
Okay, we're on a
Should
Monday
take us
then.
5 minutes.
Yeah, I think it doesn't take any time.
We just have to drive from
You
Willow.
set the time for 7 o'clock, you said?
Yeah,
7 o'clock on January 2nd, you said?
3rd.
3rd, that's Monday.
Yep.
Okay. So that's the do we have to vote on that now or not? Amend, you just,
Yeah, can the new members,
Yeah, I just asked if she can.
she can?
Mhm.
You guys good over there? Okay.
that might help too. Okay,
Mr. Chairman, do you want to announce the special meeting?
what?
Aren't we gonna have a special meeting on January 20, or December 28th?
Yeah, we got a meeting on the 28th, right, Mitch?
Yeah, the tax.
We gotta do the taxes, yeah, because we'll be poor here about January.
We got to,
Want to throw that in?
what, we already have a meeting on the 28th, right, Mitch?
We're gonna need a special meeting, yeah.
Aren't we having committee meetings?
Yes.
I just thought maybe you wanted to announce that you were gonna have a special board meeting that day, but that's okay. We can just.
Give her this, take care of this one first, so we need to amend, Don, you amended the resolution here?
I didn't amend it, we just added
You added
the day.
the date.
You don't need to amend that?
No,
It was blank?
it was blank.
Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, we're all set there. Okay, next one. Contract extension with Omnicare of New York. I don't know whose committee is that?
Safety.
Joe Porsche.
Public Safety, Ernie?
On Rule 29,
We already did it.
Just read it.
contract extension with the
What type?
Medicare of New York State LLC for additional year.
Support.
We got a second there. Okay, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. Next up is a executive session. I got one, Mike can read one. I move to enter executive session pursuant to section 105(1)(f) of the New York State Open Meetings Law and invite all members of the Board of Supervisors, the county manager, personnel officer, and the interim public health director to attend. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Can we invite the newly elected in too?
Suppose we can. That's your wish.
That's always been when I came on 2 years ago, that was extended, that I thought, I think it's
They'll be
great.
dealing with it soon enough.
Pardon?
They'll be dealing with it soon enough.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Everything.
Action, sir?
What?
Do you expect any action?
Who seconded that?
I second it.
No action.
Cindy?
Yeah.
Okay.
No action.
No action.
There'll be no action either. So all those in favor of going to executive session, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We expect no action.